welcome back to another episode of Just Listen to Jack's podcast. And today I have one of my really good friends and one of my students. I'm going to call you a student, even though you don't ever listen to me.
My papa.
Yeah. JC, or if you're really Latino, you call him Juan Carlos. What do you like to be called?
JC. No, not JC. And I also like my brothers. They always get mad when people call me JC. They're like, "Oh, you're not Mexican," because obviously my name is Juan Carlos.
Yeah.
And for them, it's like they have really Latino names too. My older brother is Christian, and then my younger brother is Tomas.
Give me your full
Tomas.
name.
Oh, my full name. Oof.
Do we have enough time for this?
It's gonna be like Julio Ricardo Montoya.
Ooh, you're really Mexican.
No, it's Juan Carlos Ceja Reyes. So my brothers and I are the only ones that, from what I've been told, have Reyes in our name. My younger sister is just
Ceja. Your mom, after so many kids, she's just like, just the first and the last.
Yeah.
She's like, I forget all of this.
Yeah. I mean, she forgets her name already. She'll go down the whole entire list before she calls the right one.
She's like, ya pa que. I know my husband, none of his siblings actually have any middle names because they just have like between the two last names and their name, that's enough.
Yeah. I'm the only one that, me and my older brother are the only ones that don't have middle names.
Yeah.
My younger brother, his is Agustin. Then my sister is Jacqueline, like my mom, but with the C, not just JAQ. Yeah, she got fancy. And then my younger brother is Oliver.
Okay.
Yeah. Oliver.
And then what about the baby?
Yeah, Oliver.
I thought it was Vladimir.
That's his first name, but we don't talk about that name.
Oh, okay. It was about the,
Yeah.
It's very vampire.
Yeah, no. I just call him Gordo.
Oh, you guys, like, he looks like he could be your son.
Yeah.
You guys are like a dead ringer.
He's my twin. When people first meet him, I always say that he's my son.
I would believe it. Like, he looks exactly like you.
Yeah.
Not that I'm calling you chubby.
But I am.
Not that I'm calling you chubby. But, yeah, so how long we known each other?
It's 2 years and 4 months, I want to say, because you were there. You got to where we worked for like a couple months after I got there. So yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't even. I was just gonna be like, around 2 years. You know the exact down to the to the months.
I'm guesstimating.
I got there like in May, and then you
of
were
what year?
2016.
So then because I was hired in February.
Okay, so it's been almost 3 years. It's gonna be 3 years already.
It's gonna be 3 years
in next month.
Yeah.
So you were wrong. 4 months.
True. No, yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be 3 years. So what was your? Well, first of all, full disclosure.
I love when you say that. In all your videos, you always say that.
Full disclosure. I gotta cover my ass. You know what I mean? You gotta cover your ass because you never know who's out there trying to check you. I did not know about your sexuality when I first met you, honestly.
To my surprise,
most people don't.
Most people don't until they get to know me.
Until you get mad.
Yeah.
Then she gets real sassy.
I've never been comfortable with people saying that I was sassy until recently. I used to be like,
true, though.
Okay.
When would you rather be called sassy or called novela? Because you're very novela.
It's the same.
You're very novela. You're so dramatic. I got to tell this story. Oh, you know which one am I talking about?
Are you talking about the one where it supposedly stepped at you?
No, not that one. Oh, that one's a good one too. I'm talking about when
I didn't. By the way, at that one, I didn't step at you. You exaggerated that one. I exaggerated, but you exaggerated that one.
You stepped to me.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm talking about the car accident.
Oh my God.
So like, I didn't really know JC that well. I was,
Can I first tell my part? Because it has to lead up to it.
Okay.
Sorry, from crossing my leg, my leg fell asleep.
Already?
That's how you know you're fat. Okay, so basically what happened was I had just bought a penny board and
Where is that shit, by the way? I don't ever see you writing it again.
Oh, I let my cousin borrow it and she's never getting it back to me. But that's what happens with Mexican families.
I know.
If you let someone borrow something, loan something, you just never get it back.
You ain't never gonna see it again.
That's gone. But anyway, so I had just bought a penny board, and the last time I rode a penny board was when I was very, very younger. My little brother my older brother had got one from his best friend, or his best friend let him borrow it. And it was just the most fun skateboard I've ever had. So I bought myself one when I was working at the River Park location. And
full disclosure, we're not revealing where we
work. We're just the area.
We're just
But basically, sorry, if I lick my lips too much, one of my tias is gonna look at me and she's like, "You look like LL Cool J."
Oh,
yeah, she hates him.
That shit.
Anyways, so I bought a penny board, and basically that day I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna drive to work. I'm gonna use a penny board. Like, I use my money on this, and I can skate, so I'm gonna do it. So I was skating down the street, and I was skating down the off ramp.
You're crossing the off ramp from the freeway.
I was crossing the off ramp from the freeway, and at that stop. Basically, if the cars aren't, if there's no cars coming, you can yield and you can go. Okay. So there's a car coming down the road, and I saw him slowing down. So I was like, okay, he's gonna stop, and I pressed the light so I can cross. So I cross the street, and I'm skating across the street, and out of nowhere, next thing you know, I'm just up in the air, like flying to the floor.
Flying to Jesus.
He said, "Nope, go back down." That's why I fell.
Right down, yeah.
So I got up super quick and grabbed my board, and he took off. And 2 cars next to him, nada. They took off. They didn't stop for me. So I limped across to the sidewalk, and I was like, well, damn, I still got to get to work. I don't know what in me didn't react right away. So I'm over here limping, literally limping with whatever I have.
For probably a mile.
No, not a mile.
It was a mile.
No, I wouldn't say it's a mile.
It's a mile. From there to the store, you had to go all the way down, at least 1 city block.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I would say it was like a block.
It was, a city block.
So I get to the store, and I had just called my tia. I was like, hey, I just wanted to let you know everything's fine, but I just got hit by a car. And she went into full mom mode. She was like, what happened? Is everything okay? Freaking out. And I'm like, no, I'm good. And then I get into the store, and I remember you're standing in the divided department, right? And your words to me were like, JC, you look like shit. What happened? And that's when it hit me. That's when the shock wore off, and I just broke down. I was like, Jack, I just got hit by a car. And then the rest,
go
ahead.
And then he collapsed.
I didn't collapse. I went into the break room still. You walked me into the break room.
But you were limping. The funny part is how do you walk practically a mile after getting hit by a car and nobody even notices that you're fucking walking on your last leg?
Because people don't care.
You walked all the way into the store, practically to the back of the store, and nobody
literally
even noticed.
Half my side of my body all dirty.
Yeah, all dirty, limping, face beat red, and nobody said, "Are you okay? They probably thought this fool looks like he got hit by a car." You're like, "Bitch, I did get hit by a car."
That's the look I'm going for. That's what I woke up like.
Yeah, and JC had a full-on panic attack. You had an anxiety attack.
No, the anxiety
after you realized
the anxiety attack hit me when Tracy offered to get an ambulance. I was like, I don't have that type of money.
That's right, and this is so Mexican. He calls his aunt. He's like, "How's it, Tia?" on the phone, and she's like, don't get in the ambulance. They're gonna charge you $200 just to get in. Well, wait till I get there.
The first thing that came out of her mouth, she was worried. The second thing was do not get the ambulance. But she was also there so quick.
She was.
Her and my cousin Jasmine showed up so quick. I don't know how they got there. I don't know what they did, but they just in 2.5 seconds.
Yeah.
Because I do remember that I was crying my eyes out. One of our coworkers was across, worrying about me. Yeah. Angela came into the side, was like, oh my God, what's going on? Yeah. Tracy's there, you're there. I remember little Yer was standing in the corner somewhere.
Yeah, it was just it was a
dramatic scene.
A very dramatic scene. We thought JC was gonna have to have his leg amputated, or because you got hit on
this leg.
Yeah, but. Yeah. What ended up happening?
Just a swollen sprained ankle.
You didn't even go to you just went to a clinic or something, didn't you?
And they bandaged me up and they said, "Ándale ya."
Yeah, lárgate. Yeah. But that was one of the memories that sticks out about you the most, was that because it was you were just, it was just crazy because you just looked at me like, Jack, I got hit by a car. And it was like that. You looked at me, and then I'm like, what happened, JC? And then you literally broke down.
Let me tell you, Jack. I've always wanted to tell you this. You always exaggerate me. Like,
it's called embellishing.
I feel like you animate me so well.
You, JC, I don't gotta try very hard. It's a pretty easy thing to do.
I mean,
I call you
person.
novela for a reason. It's very dramatic. It's in Spanglish. We're getting a little international flavor when you're getting in one of your situations.
One of my stories.
Yeah, it's like, and the thing with JC, and I'm gonna tell you this right now. Don't be talking so damn fast, because this fool. Here's what I like about JC. If I say JC, he gets like, oh, okay, Jack, I only have a few minutes back from my break. I'm like, okay, just tell me really quick. He can tell that story, Cliff's Notes, give you all the main points, tell you really quick, and you're like, oh, okay. He goes, then I'll tell you in detail later. But he can get out a story.
I'll tell you the detail later, but really, I'm giving you all the details right there.
But he talks so fast, he is giving you the play-by-play. But it seems it's all condensed down into like 2 minutes. And he's like this, and then he even plays parts. He'll be like acting out the parts. You do that a lot.
I do.
Like, and then my Thea was like, da, 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 da. And then I was like, no. And my mom was like, beep, 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 beep. You're like, you play everyone's part when you tell the story.
Yeah, I'm very Latino where I talk with my hands.
You do. Yeah, don't knock my shit over. Okay, this is
I know. That was you right now.
These cameras are expensive, okay? But
let me do a little AMS. What is it called? SMR?
Oh, yeah. So why do I have you here today, JC?
So you've brought me here to talk about my dating life.
Yes.
Gay dating life in to specify.
Yeah. In the 2019, we're going to get into this. We're going to get in balls deep, no pun intended, okay?
Oh, just how I like it.
Yep. We're going to go there. So, yes, that's why I brought you on, so that we can kind of get into this, because for me, I'm going to
dating's over.
Yeah, dating's over, and dating has changed in the last 10 years or so.
Make it 40.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been dating that long, okay? I didn't start off as early as you did.
Oh, mijo.
Let's start there. Mijo,
I've been dating
since kindergarten.
Since preschool, actually.
Míralo.
But that was when it was girls.
Yeah. You wanted to like penarlos, huh? You just wanted.
Oh, actually, yeah. My last girlfriend, I remember, I was curling her hair,
Mira,
and her brother, her cousin walked in, and I guess later on he ended up asking her, "Is JC gay?"
He was right. He was right.
I acted so offended, like, me gay.
I used to get so offended too by it, and then I'm like, maybe they were onto something.
They were all onto something
I didn't see. But yes, so I want to definitely get into this whole dating in the 2010s. In the
21st century.
Yeah, because things have changed a bit since my
I think
day.
In your era, they were doing cocaine.
Yeah, the cocaine. Bitch, that was the 70s. I wasn't that old.
They're still doing cocaine. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they're still doing cocaine, exactly. And some poppers and some...
Oh, my God.
But... So I really wanted to get JC because JC is someone who's actively dating. We're not going to put his business out there too much.
I think I'm putting my own business out there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Whatever you want to share, by all means. But I'm not going to, put you on blast that much. If you expose yourself, well, then that's on you.
Ya qué?
Aquí estás. But yeah, so I just want to get in because I honestly never used any of these dating apps. It's just a whole nother ball game, like for me dating, like we're going to say, okay, like I came out when I was 23. So I'm 40 now. So what's that? That's 33. That's like
32 years.
No, it's only.
You said when you were how old? 28.
23.
23?
23, 33, 43. Like you can
73. 37 years.
No.
I'm not good at math.
Neither am I. So almost 19, 17 years ago. 17.
You said yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why it's saying so many years.
God damn. I was like, you had me thinking for a moment. I'm like, shit, it's been that long. But 17 years ago, there was no apps for dating. There was
You had to do it the old-fashioned way.
Well, you had Craigslist. I mean, that was like, okay, check this out.
That's nasty.
But that was your only other option other than like, I want to say there really wasn't any even gay dating sites like Match.com. Maybe Match.com had something, but you had to pay for that shit. I'm going to pay for that. And
I think you still have to pay for that.
Yeah, you do.
That's
but
nasty.
I mean, but now it's like there's so many free ones now and there's so many apps, you don't even need it. So like you either met someone in person, somebody hooked you up, or if you were desperate or you were looking to hook up, then you went to Craigslist. I mean, that was really, like, or you went out to a club where, there was a plethora of gay men and then, you go from there.
See whichever everyone hits on you first.
Yeah, and then you'd be like, okay, we're gonna make this happen, or we're gonna get into a relationship.
It's either gonna get down or
get out. But now, the game has changed. I mean, yes, you can still go to the club. You can meet people the old-fashioned way, like at work, or you meet them at a restaurant or out on a social event. But it's been streamlined now.
Yeah.
And I want you to explain this shit to me because I don't have Tinder or...
Well, you're married, so I would hope you didn't.
Or Grindr because, yes, I'm married. And so I don't understand how it works. So when did you start getting into the dating app scene? Like, how long ago? You ain't that old, but...
So I'm going to be completely honest. When I was younger, it was really, really hard for me to tell anybody I was gay. My mom was actively homophobic at the time. I mean, not her, so I don't know how she is now about it.
Edit this part out.
And my older brother has since apologized, but said many, many, many homophobic things. And said he hated gay people, and my younger brother is exactly like my older brother. So it wasn't easy for me to confide in anybody about that. Yeah. So I did turn to apps. I think the most popular, the one at the time, before Grindr became popular, was Jacked.
Okay.
And I was on there.
Are you gonna give us an age here?
I'm embarrassed about it because it's not my proudest moments. I was like 15, 16.
Okay. But that's understandable.
Yeah.
I mean, when you don't have anybody to confide in or you're curious, I mean,
for me though, now being over 18, I feel bad for the guys that I could have put in jeopardy because I was underage and it wasn't right for me to be sending out these pictures and
Were you telling them your age or you?
No,
were
they all thought I was 18.
Age?
I was lying.
See, this is where you have to say full disclosure.
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
But, I mean, it is what it is now. I can't change that about me. I just wish that I did know more people who were open about it or were, more comfortable with themselves or confident or someone who was just understanding that I could turn to or I knew I could turn to, but I didn't at the time.
What was your goal at that point? Like, at 15 and
it was just to explore my sexuality. It was very, very new to me. I always tell people that when I knew I was gay was puberty for sure, because that's when everybody starts feeling all those hormones. Like everybody can say, "Oh, I always knew." Like good for them, but I didn't really feel comfortable with my sexuality until puberty hit, and it wasn't even till years after that I fully accepted myself. Okay. But so I did turn to Jacked. I met up with a couple people, but never had sex with them. Okay. I was always too scared.
Weren't you even scared just to even meet up with
them?
I
was scared to even get in their car.
But you did?
Yeah.
Oh my
Literally, God. I believe in God. So every time, poor God, he was like, you know what? Not this gay again. Every time I would pray and be like, oh, please don't let me die today. Please don't let me die today. And it was always at 2, 3, 4 in the morning that I would sneak out.
Oh my God. That's like the rape hour right there.
Yeah.
That's the hour, the rape hour. And you were getting in
my mom caught me once.
Getting into some cochino's car.
I went I left the house, right? And my mom, she lives in the gated community.
Yeah.
So I left the house, and our house is on the street where the gate is. So I walked out, I snuck out of my house, and I was waiting by the gate. And I don't know what. Remember, I was telling you, I was always very, very scared to meet these guys.
Yeah.
I don't know what, like something in my gut like felt like off. So I went back into the gate, and I went inside. And when I walked in, pues ahí estaba. She was there.
Get your ass in the house.
Yeah.
She probably saved your life that night.
Probably, I don't know.
Inadvertently, but she still didn't know what you were doing, though.
Well, right? I want to say that night, something could have happened because the guy was a little weird. Like I remember his car. He had like a Mercedes like E-Class, and he so I never met up with him, and I didn't message him again. And then my mom was dating this guy at the time, and they would always hang out in the front yard for the first few months of the relationship because she didn't want us to know who he was, even though we knew. Oh no, I think her rule was like that he wasn't allowed in the house.
But I mean, she knows living with a bunch of chismosos and tiches, huh?
Yeah. And so her and her boyfriend at the time were hanging out in the front yard, and he kept driving by. Yeah.
And so that didn't stop you though.
I feel like we're getting to my life story now.
I know.
Just real quick, just to tell you about it. Basically, she ended up looking through my phone, a phone that I shared with my siblings, by the way. Oh so it was really hard to be in the closet.
Right.
And she saw it, and she actually reported it to the cops.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, from what I was told, she reported it to the cops. I don't know what happened to the guy, but.
And what did she say to you? Like, what did she think your role in all of this was? Que no eres tan inocente, huh?
That day was very, very dramatic. So this was one of the summers where my brother and I were working in the fields. A lot of stories. We're working in the fields because we were actually paying for my family, like my sister, my brothers, and my mom to go to Mexico. My mom bought the tickets, but we paid her back with working in the fields, and then we paid for more for like our spending money over there. Sorry, I keep saying I'm a lot. I need to stop that. So we ended up coming back, there again. So we ended up coming back, and she looked through the phone, and she saw the dating apps and everything. Like we used to like share the phone, and we used to be like, oh, you can use it for this time to that time. That is so crazy.
That like, why would you even think to put those apps on the phone knowing that you were sharing it?
My older brother and I would use it the most, so we would share it from time to time. Okay. And so it'd be like, you have it this time, I have it that time.
You wouldn't even.
And so I would delete them. I would delete them after I would give him the phone. And then, unfortunately, sometimes I would forget, and I'd leave a nude there behind. And my brothers, they would remind me sometimes of like, well, that's why you're putting your dick in your ass all over the phone. I was like, oh, okay, we're going there. Yeah. But anyway, so she found it, she lost it, like bad, and then while my brother and I were at work, she ended up calling my dad, who lived in Vegas at the time. And saying that he needed to come down because he needed to see me because I was sick. So my dad literally flew from Vegas thinking I was
sick. Like she was saying, like you're mentally sick.
I think so, because my dad. That's all she told my dad. Oh, okay. So my dad.
Oh, just to like get him down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my dad, thinking I was in the hospital sick, dying basically.
Yeah.
Flew down to Vegas, and that's this was the summer before my junior year of high school. Okay. So she basically like wanted to have a talk with him and I, and like not make me gay, I think. And I ended up telling her, I was like, you know what? I told her I wasn't gay first of all, and I was like, but I don't want to live like this anymore. And so I left with my dad.
You went to go live with him?
Yeah. Okay. I just left the house right there immediately. I ran upstairs, grabbed what I could, and I was like,
peace.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's why I started off with the app Jacked.
And so like even after all of this, that obviously didn't stop you from continuing your exploration of your sexuality.
No, I moved to Las Vegas for a bit, for a year, and I was going to school over there. I was continuously still on Jacked, but at this point I had my own phone, so
you had hoes in different area codes, huh?
I didn't have hoes because I kept meeting up with them and getting scared to have sex with them.
So they had hoe in you in other areas.
They thought I was a wannabe hoe.
You just were like all about the adventure of it, like meeting up with somebody. But then when it came down to it, you're like, well,
yeah, no, that wasn't 18 until no, 17 or 18 when I had my first time.
okay.
Yeah, it was very, very cliche.
Oh, mira que curioso. You
Yeah.
save yourself.
And it actually wasn't through a gay dating app.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
It was like a good old fashioned. You met somebody at school or something.
Yes and no.
The club.
I was 17.
Hey, I don't know, like your
So-
your tonterias. Your
Oh yeah, I was 17. So basically, we'll say his name was Mathan.
Okay.
Like that's not close to anything,
Right.
But basically, we met through my ex.
Okay.
So
You
the-
already had an ex.
yeah, I can
Nice.
always pinpoint when these things happen. So basically, the Christmas of 2014, right? I started seeing this guy. Oh, did I say his name already?
His name is Mathan.
No, did I say the other guy's name?
No, you didn't.
Okay, so good. So me and this guy started dating, and at the time, we met through Twitter. At the time,
okay.
So the guy before Mathan, so the guy before him, we met through Twitter. I don't know how. I think we added each other, and like he was liking a couple of my posts, and I was liking them back, and it was just a little back and forth thing.
Okay.
And then he added me on Snapchat, and we started conversating through there. And then he basically was like, "Oh, we should hang out, this, and that." I was like, "Yeah, cool. Like, I would love to hang out with you." And I don't know why he told me, but he was telling me that he was on his way to go break up with his ex. I was like, "Oh, okay." So then, me and this guy, our first date was literally the day of Christmas, because us Latinos, we celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Into Christmas, so
Right.
Christmas is already over for us. So I went on a date with him. On this date, he brought his cousins. He brought his younger brother. They pulled up in an SUV. Like, it was a group.
What the
Yeah,
heck?
I remember it was in his mom's SUV.
That sounds like a damn raid. Like a freaking what do you call that when they come when like the FBI, the SWAT team
Yeah.
comes in? Dang, bro, I'm a backup.
So we went to the movies. That's where our first date was, and then our just like relationship progressed from there. But I don't remember how long it was, to be honest. But anyways, so even with him, never had sex with him. Like, we had like little things that we did here and there, but never like we never fully on had sex,
Yeah.
because it was always like he would try in his car or outside my dad's house. I'm like, boy, you're crazy.
You've exposed your family to a lot of things that they probably were not prepared.
Yeah, they
to.
probably don't even know what happened.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, so from there, he started. Oh my god! So during our relationship, his ex was always trying to get back at him,
Yeah.
And I just started going to this high school in Lathrop, and I guess his ex found out who I was, and he was talking a lot of crap about me on Twitter,
Oh
and
my
so
God,
I was
think know
fighting
this
him back on
story.
Twitter.
I already know this story.
And so after that, I kept telling him, like, if you're gonna keep running your mouth, you better be prepared to run those hands. So the next day, there was a basketball game, and he was one of the cheerleaders, and I saw him there. And as soon as the game was over, we were all walking out, and I see him, and I said, all that shit that you were talking about on Twitter, what's up?
Yeah.
And him and his friends literally ran to their car and took off, and that was that.
JC's a fighter too. By the way, he's a fighter.
Don't tell people that.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I am a fighter. My best friend is
You
like
are.
always so prepared. Like, if that's what's gonna happen. JC.
JC's
I was
ready
like, what
to
the
throw-
fuck? You can't be putting me into
ready
these
to throw
situations where I have
hands.
to fight for you, because
Yeah.
I'll fight.
He will.
Ask my friends. I almost fought people at the clubs before for them, never
Yeah.
because of me. But
Right.
anyways,
What a loyal friend you are.
so basically, where was I going with this? So basically he ran to his car, right? And then from there, that was like our first problem that we had. He was like, you shouldn't be talking to him like that, blah, blah, blah. At a point in our relationship, he actually left me to go back to try to fix things with his ex. And me being the idiot I was saying, like, you know what, like, I understand, like, I want you to be happy, even if that's not with me.
Can I just say on a side note, this is a reoccurring theme in all your stories of relationships and dating, and like you get yourself in some really over the top situations. I can't like you wouldn't even believe these situations.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
But so he was basically telling me that he loved his ex still. And every time we got in a fight, he would always use the excuse, "Oh, you've never been in a relationship, so you don't know what you're talking about. Like you've never been in a relationship, so you don't know what you're talking about." Every single time, and I hated it.
But at the same time, you're only like 16 or 17, right? Like at this time.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows?
Oh well, he was in college when.
Okay, so he's already over 18.
I think he's a year older than me.
So he was already.
Yeah.
He was already of age.
Yeah.
He was already 18.
He was either 18 or 19.
Okay.
And so. And he lived in Oregon, so it was like hard, like to firstly like hold our relationship and like
Of course, he lives in Oregon.
Yeah, well,
and
but his parents were from the same city as me, and he was always coming into town every month, or every weekend, basically, every other weekend, basically. So it was hard, but it wasn't so hard, like he was always in town, so I saw him a lot. And at this time, I think FaceTime came out, so it was so easy for us to like talk every day
and see each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was basically like telling me that he wanted to be back with his ex. And I was just like, okay, you know what? Like, I understand. Like, I want you to be happy, even if that's not with me. I want you to, like, just, be happy.
Even though you didn't really mean that, huh?
I think I meant it.
Really?
I mean, it hurt me, like, but I was like, I'm not gonna. I've learned a lot from my mom's relationships, from her mistakes, not mine, actually. But and I've always told myself that I'm never gonna let someone cheat on me. So basically I was like, well, if that's what he wants, like, I'm not going to sit here and then it comes to the point where he cheats on me. And I was like, you know what, that's fine. Like, I want you to be happy. Like, yeah, it hurts me, but it's going to be what it's going to be. And if I'm not happy, I'll find it later on. Mm-hmm. So then it ended up not working out between them, I guess. And he ended up coming back to me, which now seeing it back, he always made out his ex to be some crazy guy, which I'm not saying he was crazy, but like but none of them were crazy,
Now, is this the story I think it is, where the reason you don't know his ex is crazy is because...
No.
Okay, it's not that one?
No.
Okay.
But we'll get there. So basically, actually his ex used to live like 2 houses down from me. So every morning, like when I was skating to the bus stop to go to school, his ex would be walking to school.
Oh, okay.
So we would see each other. I mean, we wouldn't talk to each other, but
you would see each other.
Yeah.
Okay, so like at which point did you graduate to
having sex?
No.
Oh.
Hold on, you just want to let it all out.
Oh,
huh?
I was getting to the point. That's why. So
okay.
we got back together. And then on Twitter, he was always like flirting with all these Twitter gays. And one of the Twitter gays that he was flirting with was very like sexually open online, and like about how he like loves to have sex and all that. So it made me very, very insecure. And I would always be like, you know what? No, it's like not okay for you to be flirting with these men. To me, I consider flirting cheating. Like, you shouldn't be flirting. Like, flirting is like leading up to like, other things. And like, I don't want to.
Or could lead up to other things. Yeah.
So it just wasn't having it, and I cut him off from there. And one of the guys that he was flirting with was my next boyfriend, Nathan.
Is that the one that the story that I'm referring to?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Only you.
Oh, well, there's another relationship like that too, but anyways, okay. So one of the guys.
Let's basically wrap up this.
Let me make it faster.
In a nice little bow on your patterns.
So me and Nathan basically were trying to figure out the timeline of everything that happened between him and this guy that I dated, and between me and the guy. Yeah. So we like met up at Starbucks and like we hung out, and I don't know how the hell it happened, went from that conversation to we liked each other, and then like we would text a lot, and then we became in a relationship. Right. Then like it just all happened so fast. I went to prom with him. I made him pay for everything because I already had gone to prom and my parents were not going to give me any money to pay for anything, which was actually really sweet of him. And the relationship was good until he was cheating on me too. He was putting in videos of himself on Vine when they were cool, just like getting off.
Another app, huh?
Yeah. Well, Vine was like those 5-second videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he was like posting it of him getting off, and like I remember I found it and I was like, I know that bed sheet, I know that bed frame, and I was like, nope. I sent it to him. I went off. He showed up to my house. I was like, my dad is asleep like 9 p.m. My dad worked in construction, so he was at work at 4 a.m. Mm-hmm. So I was like, you need to leave my house. He's like, no, I'm gonna knock on the door. I was like. So I ran my ass downstairs. I was like, no, please do not knock on this door. It was not going to be pretty.
I mean, at that point, do you feel like how do I get myself in these situations like this? At no point in everything that you've said right now did you ever think, in looking back, think.
I think the only time I ever thought that was when I was about to fight the guy, because I was like, why did I put myself in this situation? This wasn't me. I mean, yeah, he was talking shit about me and saying that I was a hoe and this slut, and I was like, I didn't even know you, and you're basically outed me to everybody in high school that didn't know I was gay. I had to tell all my friends I was gay because of the situation. I was like, well, fuck.
But hadn't you been on your app meeting these people, do you think in retrospect that you would have handled it differently, or that you wouldn't have gotten in that situation, like in retrospect, looking back at it?
Like, what do you mean? Like, if I was on the dating app? Or?
Yeah, or like looking back and like going through everything that you went through with how you met this guy, like would you still,
I mean,
like would you have handled it differently?
I don't think I would.
No?
I mean, how would I know? I wasn't in a relationship at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't know. So it was all new to me. And I mean, yeah, it was a terrible experience, but it was an experience and I learned from it.
Yeah.
So
that pretty much, for the most part, wraps up high school for you. Yeah. When did you graduate? Because, see, I don't really know the timeline, like where you're talking about this app, Jack. Obviously, Twitter's been around for a while.
Yeah.
But when did, like, Tinder and
that
Grindr...
didn't happen until 2016.
Okay. When you got into using those apps?
Yeah.
So there was a period that you were still using Jacked.
No, I actually, so my junior year of living in Vegas, I ended up moving back at my senior year to Lathrop with my dad.
Okay.
But so during that time, because I was back with my family, like my mom was in the next city over and my brothers were there, I wasn't on them because I didn't want to like have that exposure to them again. Expose that to them.
So you chilled out for a while.
Yeah.
Like, how long was that?
It wasn't that long because like obviously they knew I started dating now. Like I started dating a guy like my dad knew.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Like you met him through.
Actually, he knew of him, but he didn't know who it was. Yeah, he never met him. My dad did. My dad did meet one of my boyfriends once.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the most uncomfortable thing.
But you were like always dating somebody for the most part. Like during this time period.
Yeah.
Like you just went from one.
Actually, no. After Nathan, I did take a little bit of a break and then I dated someone else. Yeah.
It wasn't that long of a break.
Yeah, but I told that guy that I was. So I actually lost my virginity to Nathan.
To Nathan? Okay.
Yeah. And then the guy after that, I actually told him I was a virgin, but I wasn't.
Ooh, shit.
But then again, me and
you were born again
Nathan
virgin.
only had sex like 2 to 3 times. And the first time, it was the worst experience of my life.
The worst?
Yeah.
You care to share?
So it was literally the most cliche night. Like it was prom night.
Oh, gosh.
His parents weren't home.
Was this your senior prom?
Yeah, it was both of our senior proms.
Okay.
His parents weren't home. I don't know where his parents were. They went out of town. His grandma was home though. So I spent the night at his house. And my older brother at the time was very much into partying. So I told him I went to prom. He's like, well, let me know when you're done so we can go to the prom after parties.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, for sure. And so my dad dropped me off. We went to prom. It was all fun. Actually, it wasn't that fun. Like the whole entire time he kept leaving me and like dancing with his friends, which is fine. Like it was his prom. But also I didn't know anybody there. I only knew one of my other friends, Esmeralda. And we had fun together, but I was like, I'm your boyfriend. I wanted to spend time with you, you know?
Yeah.
So anyways, we went back to his house. We were changing to not better, casual clothes so we could go to the parties. And then in the midst of changing, like that's when like it started, you know? I don't know why automatically like I had to be the bottom, but I was not ready. I mean, let me be honest. I did not shit on him, okay? There was no poop coming out of my ass. Basically what happened was like I was, face down in the pillow. He's no lube, nothing, just putting it in. Okay, I was bleeding, I was crying the whole entire time. My brother kept calling, phone kept going off. The bed frame was not put on right, so I just going boom, 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 boom.
Oh my
God. And his grandma was
like
down the hallway. It
just wasn't meant to happen. Really, it was as special as
well. No, because what happened was, I ended up having to top him, and.
Because you were damaged at that point.
At that point, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this.
This ain't gonna happen.
But I was like,
now.
Not to be, rated R, but I was like, I'm gonna get mine. So come on, flip over. Yeah. So that happened, and
that was his first time too?
It was not his first time.
No. Okay. So he was more experienced than you were.
Yeah, it's not to talk crap about him because, I don't hate many people, but I do hate him because he didn't play me once, but twice. There was a second occurrence later on in my life. But at the time, he basically, I didn't hate him, but he was very experienced already. He was just very sexually experienced, I guess. I don't want to say he was a hoe, but he was just very sexually experienced.
But he was a hoe.
Nothing's wrong with being a hoe. If you're a hoe it out. I wish I could be a hoe. I would fuck everybody without feelings.
I have a feeling after this podcast, because I have a feeling there's more stories.
Well, we'll see. So that was my first time.
Yeah. So it was in high school then.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk. Let's fast forward a little bit to, to the time where you were still had a few dates here and there, and you get into. Which one did you get into first, Tinder or into Grindr?
I think Grindr was popular, and I don't think Tinder was around yet. I don't think Tinder was around until probably 2017, I think, or 2018.
Okay. Tinder?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I don't think I used Tinder until 2017.
Okay. So Grindr came before then Tinder.
Yeah.
And how did you hear about it? How did you even know about it?
Twitter.
From Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the Grindr gays were talking.
Well, let's talk about Twitter. The Twitter gays. Let's talk about Twitter because I know a lot of people who meet people through Twitter. Mm-hmm. How does
there's
and obviously
there's a whole entire hashtag we met on Twitter.
Yeah. So how does that work? Explain to me the process
of meeting someone through Twitter or just Twitter period.
Yeah. Or what has your experience been with meeting people on Twitter? And then and if you've met up with them in person.
I have before. I just can't recall. I think there was a guy that I met through Twitter, and I was like, "Oh, let's hang out." We did, and that was basically it. Nothing. I've never met someone through Twitter that I ended up dating besides the first two.
Okay, and they weren't through Twitter.
They were through Twitter.
They were.
Mathan and the other guy, the guy before him, worked through Twitter.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear who Mathan is.
Yeah, obviously, I'm just say his name, Nathan. Yake.
But so how does that work? How does somebody hit you up on Twitter? Are they
Oh, actually, no, you're right. Someone did.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say his name at all, actually, because now he's married.
And not even an alias name because it's too close.
Yeah. His name is very, very unique for it to be for me to give anything like it.
Yeah.
Now he's married and they just adopted a baby, which is good for them.
A little bit closer. Your mic.
Which is really good for them, but anyways. So, this is the relationship you were talking about earlier. So I used to not date. Sorry, that's a very, very strong word. I met this guy through Twitter, and I think at the time, him and his man weren't together.
Okay.
So he no, actually they were together. We were just liking a lot of each other's things, and then he added me on Snapchat, and we were talking here and there. And then he was talking about let's get to know each other. And then I was like, yeah, I'm really down to get to know you. I think you're really handsome. I was like, you'd be someone that's really, really cute to be with, et cetera, et cetera. And then it came to the point where well, actually, I have a boyfriend, so I'm just looking to be friends. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. And so we were friends. And then I guess at a time while we were friends, his man and him broke up, and then that's when he was being more flirty and sexual and stuff like that. And he lived in Murieta. I think that's how you say it. Yeah. Out by Riverside.
Yeah.
And
For the gringos, it's Murrieta.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so we never really met. I always told him I would want to go see him over there, but he never we never planned anything out.
Mm-hmm.
And so from there we basically we're on and off, and then he'd block me and then unblock me, and I knew that every time that he blocked me is because him and his man got back together.
Right.
It came to a point where he told me his man didn't like me. I was like, well, what did I do? Like, I'm not the one that's doing anything wrong.
Right.
Anyways, for a good while then they broke up, and then out of nowhere, he stopped talking to me again. At this point, his man actually followed me on social media, so I follow him back. And then his man started liking a lot of my things. Yeah. And I was like, okay. So I started liking them back. And then so I messaged him actually. I was like, okay, are you going to stop? I was like, when are we going to get to a point when you're actually going to talk to me instead of just liking my things? Mm-hmm. And he was like, I was about to say the same thing, blah, blah, blah.
Why did you reach out to him like that though? Knowing that he's the boyfriend of somebody that you were kind of talking to or flirting with or whatnot. Did you find him attractive?
I think I had small feelings for the guy, and to the point where he kept blocking me. I was like, you know what, fuck him. So I messaged his man
out of spite.
No, not out of spite. I think it was just to be like, well, okay, whatever, you know. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say it was out of spite. I would say it was more because he was cute. I wouldn't say
was his Were you more interested in his man, in looking back, than you were in him?
So at first, it was to be you don't want to talk to me, I'll talk to your man.
Out of spite.
I guess you could say, yeah, it was out of spite.
Yeah.
And then when we actually started talking, he was a really, really amazing guy. Amazing. He helped out his parents. He took care of his younger siblings.
Like you.
He was buying his parents' house. So he was just amazing.
Yeah.
And then after that, we actually did plan on meeting up. He came all the way from, he was from Temecula.
I know who this is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he came all the way to Fresno. We planned to go to San Francisco. We stayed in Monterey, and my dumbass, I was like, yeah, we can go to Monterey. Monterey's not that far from San Francisco. We'll go to the Bay Area. It turns out Monterey's fucking an hour and a half away.
Yeah, that's pretty far.
But him being the amazing person he is, stuck to the plans. So we went to Monterey. That's where he booked the hotel. He picked me up. We spent the first night together. We didn't have sex that night, even though he did try. And I was just like, I'm not that type of person, but you can try. And then we went to San Francisco the next day. We did all the little tourist things. We went to Pier 39. We went to the Golden Gate. And then after, we went to go get tacos with my cousin. So he met my cousin. And it's very, very hard for me to let people meet my family because I
didn't paint a very good picture of your family.
Well, for them, no one has ever, except for one of my ex-boyfriends, has ever met my family. Mm-hmm. And even my mom did find out after the fact. She was not happy about it. Yeah. Because I told her he was a friend. But anyways, so
they're all friends.
Yeah. I mean, there's the word friend is in boyfriend. So
right, exactly.
But anyways, so we ended up going to San Francisco. We went back. The next night, he tried again. I was like, nope. And then,
well, Jesus, if you're having a bloodbath again, you'd probably be like, okay, I ain't fucking with this guy no more.
And then we went to Pebble Beach that day. And then from there, we went back and we picked up my puppy and we went back home. And the relationship was all good. It was actually amazing. We talked every day. We FaceTimed every day for the next month or so. And then he started being distant. And then I asked him what was going on. And then he was just saying it was just a lot going on with him because he went from one relationship to another. And then the process of buying a house for his parents and his brother, taking care of his brother. So it was a lot for him. I was like, okay, I understand. And then I wrote out this whole entire long message about how I think I was in love with him and how I just wanted him to be happy, and I don't want him to feel stressed out, and I don't want him to feel like this relationship is gonna be a strain on him. I wanted him to live his best life and live this amazing life that where there is no obstacles that were holding him back from anything or limiting himself.
Yeah.
And then at a point, I did ask him, does this have to do because of your ex? Mm-hmm. And he swore up and down that it had nothing to do with it. And I was like, okay, then even if it is, like, I told him too. I remember I told him, I was like, even if it is, like, and if that's the reason why you're leaving me, like, I want you to be happy and know that, like, you're doing this for you and no one else. Mm-hmm. And I remember that night, like, I cried for like 5 hours straight. Yeah. And like my family was like, my tia was like, what's going on with him? We went to Walmart and she bought me like all these goodies. Yeah. And my cousin too, like, he was like, you're gonna be okay. And my cousin Jasmine was like, fuck man. And I was like, you're right. I think that's where my love for saying men are trash came out.
Can I just say it wasn't that cute?
To you though. To me, I thought, still to this day, I think he's so attractive, so sexy.
Were you in love with him on the real? Like, now that you really think about it and like you're talking about it, were you in love with him?
Does it sound like it to you?
Yes.
I was in love with him.
Yeah. And it was such a short while too. It wasn't that long.
I think because like I saw him in a light that he was just amazing.
Yeah.
Like even after it's like, yeah, I was like upset that he moved on so fast. Cause like right after we broke up, probably like 2 weeks later, he was back with his ex. And then a month later they were engaged. Mm-hmm. And then in the next month in June, they were married. And I was hurt, and like every day I would stalk his Twitter and be like, "What the fuck is up with your life?" But then,
you eventually let it go.
I mean, from time to time, I like to check in on everybody.
Yeah.
So that's how I know he has a baby.
I know.
That's how he knows.
You're on Twitter a lot. Well, I probably I have to at first I'm like, oh, I like what JC's tweeting about and retweeting and stuff, so I'm gonna put him on my notification, so like every time it was like blowing up my notifications on Twitter. I'm like, okay, he's let me
you don't follow that many people anyway, so you could unnotify me and like you'll still be able to see him when you go down your timeline.
Oh yeah, it's like you blow up my now what I will say, I do have to mute your timeline. There's a couple of you young gays that I have to mute because literally my feed turns into a pornography site.
That's not my Twitter though.
Well, it's things that you like. It's not necessarily.
It'll be the Twitter gays that like in their underwear or like.
You posted one time where literally it was like showing these two guys. You know which one I'm talking about?
I don't.
It's like this guy and he was like, and it said something like, oh, when my boyfriend surprises me or something, and it showed these two guys like dressed up like business. You know, they had ties and stuff on. Uh-huh. It was from you. It was from your feed. And then it literally turned into like some other guy came in and then it became this menage a trois, full on porno. It was like 2.5 minutes. And I was like, what is going on? Because it didn't start off like some of them they're doing it right there. Yeah. You know, you see it on your timeline and it's straight.
Like, oh, let me just pass by through this.
But this one was like a whole build up. It was like a porno with a storyline. But you didn't really know what was going on until like.
I think it's because like sometimes when I retweet those, it's because they're like the pornos with hilarious like storylines. I don't know why they make up these weird storylines. So I will retweet them and I'm like, this is hilarious. And I'll send it to my friends. We have a group chat where we send it to each other, and it's just. So you probably did see it.
I did. I was like,
I don't remember what it was specifically, but you're probably right. It was me.
So, yeah. So like Twitter is places that you've met men's and met up with them, or like talk to me about like your process with Twitter, like if like you get, you know, this whole sliding into your DMs, or you sliding into someone's DMs.
I think I've only slid into one person's DMs.
Yeah,
and he's actually like a really like upcoming photographer that I'm like, oh, he's just so attractive.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about, Mr. Plants. That one.
Who?
It's like Mr. Plants or Plant Man, Plant Guy or something like that. I don't know. There's some guy that you're always commenting on and liking his stuff. And I think he's a photographer.
Oh, no.
You know who I'm talking about, though?
As of recently, like that I've been commenting on his things, but no, I'm not into him. I think he has a man.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
He's kind of cute.
I mean, he's kind of cute.
Yeah.
But I think he has a man. I don't go for guys who have men.
You better.
It's happened once, okay?
So,
but anyways, it's usually just like me, like like liking a couple of their things or them liking a couple of my things. And it just depends on how I feel confident that day. Where I'll be like, okay, like, are you gonna stop liking my things? Are you gonna message me? Or I'll wait for them to like message me, and from there, yeah.
And then like,
but what I've learned from the past few months is like a lot of Twitter gays are just super horny guys where they're like, send me nudes.
Yeah.
But
did you ever get into like the whole Reddit thing, like where there's like Reddit and there was like all these like pornography on Reddit and all this like?
No, that was Tumblr for me.
Oh, it's Tumblr. That's right. You're right. What was that like? Like, what is that about?
Oh,
like, what was that about?
Let me tell you, everybody's nudes were always all over Tumblr. Like you can find everybody's.
I know.
I found a couple of my coworkers' nudes.
Exactly. Yeah.
I actually came across my own pictures once.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I very, very selectively send them to certain people. So I know who I sent them to. So
you know who put it out there.
So I know who put it out there.
Yeah.
Not going to call them out, but I don't.
Now, see, you brought up something that's very interesting about the whole exchanging of, which we'll kind of get into like Grindr. Mm-hmm. But are you able to, you can send any picture when you DM somebody, whether it's through Twitter or Instagram, you could pretty much send them anything, right?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't censor what you're sending them, like in a direct
Twitter,
message.
on DM, no.
Yeah.
Unless it's anything hateful and they report it, then no.
Okay.
Or unless it has like copyrighted music.
So what you're saying is that you have sent nudes through Instagram and Twitter.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
I think it's just normalized in gay culture now.
Yeah. Is it?
It's very rare that someone doesn't send nudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is that like? Walk me through the process of like, what is your goal when you're doing that?
Sending nudes?
Mm-hmm. Now, okay, let me ask you this. Do you send nudes to guys that you know you're never going to see? Or do you send nudes to...
No.
Or you send both? Or you're both like a guy that is local or something?
I think I've sent nudes to one person that I know I'm probably never going to see. That's it. Mm-hmm. Everybody else, it's either someone that I either met up with or...
Like you're going to be able to see them in person type thing. Okay.
Yeah.
And
like I've only sent the nudes if I knew that's where the conversation was going.
Okay.
It was never like, I'm just going to randomly send you nudes.
Right. And so what is your intention in doing that?
Obviously, if I'm sending nudes at this point, like you've seen me naked, we're going to get down to business.
Get to business. Okay. Yeah. That's what I was asking.
Yeah. Well, you could have straight out asked.
Yeah. So, well, I'm not putting words in your mouth. I want you to, I'm not trying to paint a picture of you. I'm letting you go for it.
Letting me paint it itself.
Yeah. So let's move into Grindr. Okay. I don't understand how Grindr works. I don't understand.
You want me to break it down for you? I don't think you've ever
used Grindr. Break it down for us because I think, and this is why I want to have this conversation because, this is like what you're talking about is very normal in the gay community. And not only for guys your age, I mean, guys my age and older are using Grindr. So I just kind of want you to explain like, what is Grindr used for? What is like the main purpose of Grindr?
So Grindr is used for, I didn't really understand what the word networking was until as of recently. I mean, I knew it in the business side. So I was like, why the fuck do you need to network on fucking Grindr? Sorry if I'm cussing too much.
Yeah. You can't be talking shit about David now because you're cussing too.
Sorry, David.
Yeah.
I was actually having a conversation with Jack earlier about David saying that like David was cussing way too much on your podcast. But I was like, you know what? Here I am cussing.
Ave Maria over here.
Anyways, so basically, Grindr is used for obviously avidly wanting to look for people who are wanting to have sex, people who are looking to date, people who are looking to network, I guess, and people who are just looking to make friends.
Okay.
Me personally, very, very, very rarely do I meet up with anybody on Grindr.
What's it primarily used for? Like
primarily by mostly everybody
is used for
mostly. I'm not saying everybody.
Yeah.
A group of people do use it for a hookup app.
Yeah.
Like Grindr is known for in the gay community. If you're on Grindr, you're definitely looking for sex.
Yeah.
If you're on Tinder, you're taking relationships more seriously.
Right. Allegedly.
Yeah, because straight Tinder is way different.
Yeah, than gay Tinder.
my tia tells me about when she's on Tinder and how disgusting the men are there. I was like, wow, Tinder for gays is like it's a whole different ballpark.
Yeah.
They're more like, I'm looking for a relationship. I want to be happy.
We'll get to Tinder, but let's get to the
So-
dirty here.
So with Grindr, basically like you posted one picture. Actually it has updated. So it used to be like where you can only post one picture. It has to be very like PG-13, you know, like no nudes, no nothing, right?
Okay.
Just a regular profile picture. And then you like list your age, you list your ethnicity, you list like you can't like these are all like everything that you list is optional. Like so you can list your age, you can list your ethnicity, you can list your preference, your pronouns, what you identify as, and then you have a little bio of what you can put, whatever. And then now that it's updated, like you can post 1, 2, 3, or 4 pics. All of them have to be like PG-13 appropriate, and then
This is like your profile pic.
yeah,
Okay.
your profile pictures.
Okay.
And then like obviously your bio. Now you can tap people, like so instead of messaging, you can like tap them. You know, like let them know that you acknowledge. You're acknowledging them.
Okay. Now, what about like the other stats, like your preferences with?
So you can.
Let's get into.
So
that.
you can't put preferences actually. Grindr has now made it where it's like you're very you have to be. It's a very not inclusive because obviously people have their preferences, which I'm kind of against. Not that it's wrong.
Well, what I'm saying is like
I'm not a person who likes to shame people. So it's one thing to have a type, and it's another thing to I guess a type and a preference are like go hand in hand. It's one thing to discriminate. It's another thing to have a preference. There.
Yeah. Okay.
That's better.
There you go. But weren't you able to put like I'm a top, I'm a bottom?
Yeah.
I'm
So that you
verse,
can
I'm
put.
the- okay.
But as
That's
in
what I
like,
mean.
oh, I don't date white people. I don't.
Your preferences.
Yeah, you
or
can't say
your-
like. Basically,
your
everybody
ethnicities
shames
and stuff.
anybody who's like no femmes, no tops, no fats, no.
Yeah.
So
But as far as your sexual
yeah,
preferences,
you can
like,
put your sexual preference, whether you're bi, whether you're gay,
Yeah.
whether you're a top, whether you're a bottom, whether you're a verse. There's a whole entire spectrum on that.
Right. Yeah. That's
You
like,
can be a
we need a
top
whole
verse. You could be a top verse, verse, bottom verse, bottom. It's oral top, bottom. I don't know what the fuck. It goes into there's a spectrum.
There's a whole like we need a whole key. We need a whole like thing to be able to break it down. But
yeah, it's a spectrum.
But you can be very specific sexually what your
Like
preferences
me
are.
personally, a lot of people are gonna come for me for saying this. I'm actually a verse. So
Which means what?
which means that you're willing to top and you're willing to bottom.
Yeah.
I'm not one of the either, but unfortunately, because I do have somewhat of a butt, I end up bottoming more.
Somewhat.
Well, add the picture in there.
Just go. I'm gonna give you a link to his Twitter, and you guys can see for yourself. Okay, so that's basically so. When you're using the app, how does the app work? How does it function?
For me personally, honestly, I get on the app when I'm horny.
Right.
Versus what do I actually meet up with the gay guys? No, because it's a process, and you know me, Jack. I'm lazy.
Yeah.
I have to get up. I have to shower. If I'm gonna bottom, I have to clean my booty hole.
Yeah.
You gotta shave. It's a process. Like
it's almost like more trouble than it's worth.
Yeah, honestly, it's like I will be like, yeah, let's do this.
Have you seen?
But then I'm like, God, now I have to get up, and they'll be like, where are we gonna meet up? And I'm like,
this is not like gay sex is not one of those things that you can just like. Let's
you
get
can't
to
have
this.
spontaneous gay sex.
No, you gotta prepare for this shit.
My cousin once said, I was like, he goes, I don't have to we can have sex whenever. I was like,
yeah.
You have sex whenever? Like, no, that's inaccurate to me because
like you can wake up, you can be asleep and roll over and do your thing. It's like, no, you got to think about what did I eat for dinner before I get to this. You know what I mean?
If you're gonna go out on a date and you're gonna bottom, you better be eating some ice chips, some ice soup.
You just better be clean. You better be clean.
You better starve yourself, basically.
Yeah.
They always say there's this. Someone told me there's like this bottoming diet where you just eat air and ice chips.
Yeah,
that basically
about right. Yeah, you got it. You can't, think about how if this is gonna have an adverse effect on me, if this is gonna come out later, and not in the way that I thought, and it's out of my control when it comes out. There had some. I saw a thing on Twitter where it's like these two guys. They're meeting at a bar or something, and
I think I retweeted it.
Was that you? Yeah.
It was the guy where he's like, so are you gonna order
are you gonna eat
steak or
no? It was pizza.
No, it wasn't pizza.
Yeah, it was pizza. He goes, "Are you gonna eat that?" It's an Asian guy and like some white guy.
Yeah, and
he's like, "Are you gonna eat that?" He goes, "Well, I was, but
wasn't sure if you were gonna eat it." And then he's like, "Well, I wasn't gonna eat it in case I had to." And he's like, "Well, I wasn't gonna eat it because I had to." And it's like, "Okay, so then you can eat the pizza and then I'll eat it next time."
Right. It's pretty accurate.
It was so accurate.
It's so accurate.
I mean, actually, it's accurate in the mindset that people go through, but I don't think it's accurate in what actually happens. If that were to happen to me on a date, I would die. I think it would be the funniest thing.
Yeah.
But I'm a funny person, so I usually always have them laughing.
But I mean, this is like, the realities of gay sex is that you do need to think about these things.
Yeah.
It's not just like we're going to get down, we're going to do this on a spontaneous.
Let me tell you, literally, if I'm going on a date, I'm dating someone that's gonna be a top, I literally have to starve myself because alcohol doesn't sit well with my stomach. I'm lactose. Let me tell you, it's a process for me.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm like, oh, please
please
be a bottom. Please be a bottom.
JC likes to eat.
Oh,
I seen him. I almost lost one of my fingers.
Going out with you in between me and my food because
that's right. So I know that you must go through a lot when you are, maybe. I mean, that's the thing about it. You just never know what's gonna happen.
I gain weight when I date a bottom, and I lose weight when I date a top.
There you go. See. So what do you call that? What are we gonna call that? The bottom diet? That's
what it's. Well, bottom diet's already something else.
Oh
yeah. Oh my god.
Okay, so let's get back on track. We kind of went to another place there, but I mean that's the realities of gay dating is that there's a possibility that with something might happen and you got to be ready.
I heard that it's actually very common that guys have incidents where they accidentally do, and it's something to be ashamed of, it happens, But I mean, no one thinks because I know there are some people that get upset by it and shame people for accidentally doing it, but it's like, what do you think is gonna happen when you're shoving a whole entire dick up someone's butt? And you're literally messing up with your organs.
I mean, it's like they, that hole was really meant for things to come out of, not for things to go in. So yeah, and plus, if we're gonna get scientific, if you stimulate the prostate, which is
the G spot.
The male G spot. Yeah, the male G spot. It's gonna
technically it's just the outside of it, the round the outside. You don't gotta put anything up there.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna stimulate some things going on in here, and
it's gonna wake something. It's gonna wake the
beast. Something out, right?
It's gonna wake the beast.
So I mean, since you've been putting yourself on blast for the last, for the first part of the podcast,
I'm a very open person.
That's the thing that's great about you is that you are very open.
It's because I know I'm a target. I know, at work. Remember, I used to be a huge target. Everybody used to make fun of me. Within my family, I'm a huge target. My tias make fun of me. My cousins make fun of me.
So you're prepared for it.
Yeah. So if I can't laugh at myself, what then?
Right. Then what's the point, huh?
Yeah.
If you can't even laugh at yourself. But in kind of talking about that whole situation, with gay sex, it's the first time that it happened to me, not that I did it, but somebody, had an accident on me. I'm gonna call it. It was just I didn't know what to do because I had never experienced that before. And I didn't want to embarrass the person because obviously they were already embarrassed. So it's just one of those things you don't expect to happen. When
it's not something you expect to happen at all.
Right. It's just you're thinking of you're having some sexy time, and then all of a sudden that the most unsexy thing that can happens. Right. And you're just oh shit, literally oh shit. So it's the first time it happened that it was done to me, I was I just felt really embarrassed for the guy because
it's embarrassing,
and it's when you're in the heat of the moment, it's not something that you're thinking about. But when you get a rude awakening, then it's oh shit.
That's exactly
this shit became real. Literally. But yeah, it's just crazy that that's something that we have to think about when the technical parts of it, because it's like, yeah, like the idea of it, like, oh, everyone has sex, but then it's like, well, there's different kinds of sex, and there's like, you know, other things that come along with gay sex. So what you were saying was, you know, you're primarily use Tinder to like hook up with guys.
No, Grindr.
I mean Grindr to hook up with guys. And so what is, like, give me the process, okay? Like, explain to me this whole swiping and tapping thing.
So that's for Tinder. Swiping and tapping. So tap, like you can tap someone on Grindr, and it's like, it gives like 3 options. I think it's like a little fire thing, and then it's like a little devil thing.
Okay,
and
so
like
give me a breakdown. Thing. Break it down for me. You get on the app.
And then you have like and all these guys, right? So at first, at the very, very top row, there's one row that goes across, right? Okay. And it's a whole bunch of guys that are new to the app. Or new in the area that all of a sudden pop up.
Okay. So it's only brings up guys in the area, like in your within 5 miles, 10 miles, or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know how many miles it is, but it's from within your radius, you know.
Because from what I understood, like there's like when you get on it, it'll be like this person is 1 block away, or
so with some people it gives you the option of being like, oh, this person is this many miles away, feet away. Yeah,
feet away too.
Yeah. I think some of my neighbors are gay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because sometimes they'll be like, they're like 1,000 feet away. One of the guys is like 400 feet away. I'm like, are you in my house?
Do you like? Because you can obviously see a picture of them. You never come across any of them.
I don't leave my house.
You don't leave your house?
No. So no.
You're gonna be like,
neighbor, you got some of that sugar.
I know. Okay, so break it down.
So then it gives you that row, right? And then you have like, you can scroll up, and it's all these guys that you like have options for. Okay. And then you can message them, be like, hey, it's so annoying when they message you looking. Like, bitch, what the fuck am I looking for? You tell me, because clearly you're the one asking. Or when they just randomly send you nudes, I'm like, I have a whole entire dick, and I'm in my break room at work. Could you not?
Yeah.
But
what you doing on the app at work?
I'm waiting for my break.
Okay.
Just kidding. No.
If I'm on my break, I can do whatever I want.
10 minutes is 10 minutes. No, just kidding.
I'm
kidding.
You can get a hookup in 10 minutes on your break.
I'm kidding. Because some of my coworkers might see this. I'm kidding. Okay. Y'all see me in the back room at the table. Do not report me.
Okay. We're not even talking about the bathroom selfies. Okay.
Oh my God. Can I tell that story?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna tell it anyways. So remember DM that used to work for us, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how we got into it, but like it was just very like a lot of flirty, and then all of a sudden it became sexual. Mm-hmm. He was sending me nudes. We were sending nudes back and forth, and I went to go take a booty picture in the bathroom at work, and I was sending it through Snapchat, and instead of sending it to him, I posted it on my story. And it was up there for a good amount of time. Like 10 people saw it. This was 2017.
I don't remember this.
No, it was 2016 because I think he left before 2017. I'm not 100% sure how long ago it was. But anyways, I had to find out through my cousin. My cousin called me, and I just taken the picture. I posted it, and then I walked away, and then I came back, and I went to go use the restroom again to like see if he responded. And my cousin's calling me. I was like, why the hell are you calling me? So I answered like, hello. And she's like, JC. I'm like, what? She was like, go look at your story right now. I was like, why? She goes, just go look at it right now. And so then I was like, okay. So I hung up. I go look at it, and my ass is all over my Snapchat.
Oh my God.
And then my cousin Diana saw it. My cousin Liz saw it. My cousin Jasmine saw it. My ex's brother saw it. It was like,
who hasn't seen your ass?
Besides them, I don't know, actually. At this point, I mean, my ass is not popularized and it's not being passed around, thankfully. But the pictures of it have been around there.
You showed up on a Tumblr.
Yeah, so a couple thousand probably could have seen it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay. I'm not ashamed of it. My booty pics are very tasteful, and so I'm okay with it. Okay. If you see my ass, you're welcome.
Yeah. So tell me, get back to the process.
Oh, wait, actually, let me tell you this first. So I actually had a Polaroid booty pic, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm so sorry, Tia. My Tia found it. while she was cleaning my room once, she was like, you know what? You've worked so hard. Let me clean your room for you. And she's cleaning it, and she's with my sister, my tia finds it, and she's like, you want to see it? You want to see it? And my sister's like, no, I don't want to see that. And my sister texted me so fast. She's like, Tia Monica found your booty pic. I was like, my heart dropped. I was like so scared to go home.
What the heck? Do you have your Polaroids just laying around?
It wasn't laying around. I have it in like a little jar, but like she's like, I have it where my pens are. And so I guess she opened up the jar and she's like, mira nomás. Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah. Wow.
Like I said, who hasn't seen
I'm gonna do a phone line. I'm gonna call my tia. I'm like, you want to tell that story?
Oh man, she's traumatized to this day.
She's like, I can't look at you at the same. I was like, tia, I can't look at you right now. I'm embarrassed.
I know. Shit.
But my brothers have seen my ass because of the phone we used to share. I don't think my mom has. Oh, you know what? She has. I think I have like some nudes on my laptop, and she used to use my laptop. But I was like, hey, I didn't tell you, gave you permission to go through my photos, but ya que? It is what it is. But so back to what we were talking about, because I love to get off topic.
You do?
Yeah, I tend to do that.
Okay.
It's actually there I am doing it again.
See?
But it's a trait that I got from my tia. My tia Monica could literally tell you one story, and out of nowhere you end up on like a different topic about how life is important, and she's amazing. I love that woman.
Yeah, she's a good person.
Yeah.
You're lucky to have her.
Yeah.
So let's get back to Grindr.
Okay.
Let's get back to like the vessel here. Okay.
Okay.
So
basically, you end up like messaging these guys, and for me, I don't like to start off like, oh, let's have sex, because like for me, I am looking for friends. Like I have 5 friends.
mm-hmm.
I have very, very limited friends, to be honest, like within like my hands. And I only have 4 gay friends. And not that I'm looking to have all these like group of gays. Actually, no, I have more gay friends, to be honest. But most of them live in LA. And my best friend lives in Turlock, so it's just hard for us. So I do look for friends through Grindr. I know it's very like, what are you doing on Grindr if you're not looking for sex? But sometimes I am.
I mean, that's the impression though.
Yeah.
If you're on Grindr,
you're looking for sex.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have actually made friends through Grindr.
Really?
Yeah. None of them where I've actually met up with them, but like we'll conversate here and there, and then we'll follow each other on social media, and we'll communicate through there, but never where I've like actually met with them. I have a lot of social media friends. But you have seen their dick though? No. If I'm going to be friends with them, I'm like, yeah, we're not having sex.
We're not having sex. Or we're not. But like I'm talking about nudes though. You see nudes of them though, even though you're just friends with them.
Oh, yeah.
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 And they've seen nudes of you.
Yeah, I think I've seen some of my friends' nudes before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Lola. She's trying to get in.
I know.
My dog, she's having a stroke right now because she's not in here. But okay, so like, what is your process? Okay, you say you are interested in a guy that you see. Okay, so
I'll message him. I'm like, hey, how are you? And then be like, sup, bro. I hate when they do that.
What?
Sup, bro? Like,
oh my god.
And I'm like, I'll like just seeing how you are, and then he'll be like, I'm good. I'm like, oh, that's good to hear. And he's like, how are you? And then there's very
a
like
lot of small talk.
Yeah, so much small talk. Like that's basically Grindr is small talk. Let's have sex.
Right.
It goes from like, hey, how are you? Let me see your butt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then
let me see your nut, I guess.
Basically, Grindr it escalates. It could go from like, hi, how's your day? You look so handsome to like, let me lick your asshole. It's no in between. Or
you're not wrong. Though.
I'm not lying. I'm not. Or it can go from like, there's some of them that have like weird fetishes. I've seen people. You know what? I'm not gonna knock anybody's preference, but I've seen guys on there that they're puppers or puppies, or they like to act like dogs, basically.
Oh, okay.
We actually both know one of them.
Oh yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes,
I've seen him on there. I was like, oh Lord, let me go get my leash because my dogs need to get walking.
Leash. Go get yourself a little poo-poo bag and a pooper scooper.
Are they into it too?
I don't know. I mean,
let's not go there because that's a different.
that's a little too.
Apparently, that's a preference too to be like crapped on. I'm like, you're You know what? I ain't gonna talk shit about that. You're disgusting if you like to be crapped on.
I ain't knocking you, but you're fucking disgusting.
I'm no one to judge, but you're fucking disgusting.
You're fucking disgusting. So what is it? What does it usually lead to for you?
It'll lead. Sorry, who's talked to me on Grindr. It'll lead to me be like, yeah, let's hook up, and then like they'll send a dick pic, and then I'm like, oh fuck, now I got a bottom. And then it leads to me like, okay, yeah, we're gonna have sex.
Is that some kind of like, do you have your preferences obviously, so they know that
so
you're
if I'm really really looking to have sex right there and then, I'm gonna look for someone who's a bottom.
Yeah.
Because that's like I need to, But if I'm like scrolling, they're like, oh, like I'm a top. That's when I'm like, you know what? I changed my mind. Because then now I have to go shower, have to wash my asshole,
right.
I have to shave, it's a process.
All that good shit.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard because like, well, it's just it's not the funnest thing.
Yeah. I wouldn't know, but yeah. Okay, so essentially, Grindr for you is like you're gonna hook up. Basically, that's what you use it for. Now let's talk about Tinder.
Okay.
Let's talk about Tinder. And typically, like you were saying, like straight people use Tinder as like how Grindr is used mostly to hook up.
Tinder for straights is definitely a hookup app.
Yeah.
Like that's how it's known in their community. But for the gay community, Tinder is more of a serious, like I'm trying to look for a relationship. Like it's very rarely that I get a message to be like, I'm just trying to fuck.
So how is the Tinder app set up? Like how does that work?
So you get like, I don't know how many like spots to put pictures of yourself, and then I had to burp.
Oh, it's okay.
And so you put something about pictures of yourself. You have like your age, your bio, and then you can like tag your Instagram in there and stuff like that. And then you can put like your music preference, because I know like that's a lot of like the easiest topic to like. Oh, what kind of music do you like? Yeah. And then it also puts like people in your area, but you can adjust that to be like, oh, I want like people like 5 miles away from me, or so many miles. And then like you can swipe left if you don't like them, swipe right if you do like them. And like what the advantage of this app at least is like if you swipe right, like at least you know that you both like each other, and it's not like someone just constantly messaging you. Yeah. Versus because on Grindr that's what they do. Like they constantly message you like, hey, or like, oh, so you're not into me? It's like, no, I'm not into you. I stopped replying after I never answered. But
I'm not bottoming for you. Okay?
But basically, like you can message them after like you've matched with them, or once you like them and all of a sudden you guys match, then you can like message them, or you can super like them and then like. It used to be like where if you super like them, then you can message them like automatically. But now it's like if you super like them, they still have to like you to be able to message you. So then you can go and see like. Now it has like this way like weird little feed like, oh, this person just added a new their favorite music. This person just added a new picture. This person just updated their profile picture. Stuff like that. And then like again from there you can see like all the people you've matched with and then all your messages.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so like. Give me an example of like when you've used it and what like was your experience using it. So
in my bio it says I have jokes, and then people always every time I match with them like tell me a joke, and I hate that. Like yeah, I'm funny. I honestly, Jack, would you say I'm funny?
Yeah, he's kind of funny.
So besides funny looking, but you know I'm funny. That too. Yeah. So and this is not just me saying I'm funny. I've been told. Okay. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah. They'll be like, tell me a joke. And I hate being put on the spot like that. It's like, my jokes land better in person. And it's like, as I go, like, I'm just, like, I'm not a 10 looks-wise, so my personality is pretty up there, you know? Yeah. So I'm funny. Like, that's what I like to take pride in, like, that I'm a funny person. Yeah. And so for them, I feel like I'm talking too far away from the mic. So as a person, like, I just feel like I'm funny. So every time they're messaging me, like, oh, tell me a joke, and I'm like, my jokes land better in person, so I guess you'll just have to wait till we meet. And then like it'll go from there. So you haven't
thought of maybe changing your profile message?
I have, but then that's also so much work.
Really?
It's not that much work. I'm just lazy.
You're being lazy.
Exactly.
You're like, so they're gonna keep asking me to tell them jokes.
Yeah, I literally haven't gotten that message like 4 times. Yeah. I can like pull up my Tinder right now and be like, let me tell you all these. Do you want me to read some of the messages?
Yeah, let's see.
Oh, let's do this.
Let's see.
Oh my God, my phone's going off. I bet.
Are these current ones or these like older messages?
No, this is current.
Okay.
Probably. Hold on, that has everybody that can like with.
I might ask you to check all your Twitter and your Instagram feeds right now. Okay.
Okay, so this guy was like, nice. He was like, hi. I was like, hi. And he was like, what's up, handsome? I was like, how are you? And then he's like, not too bad. And yourself? I'm like, I'm good. Just got out of the bath. Now I'm in bed. I was in Milpitas, and me, Angela, Nancy, like, well, Angela bought this like
wine or something?
No, not wine. Some like things to take a bath, and so we were all like, she gave us some, and we were all taking baths. So then he's like, nice. I still have to yet to shower. I was like, oh, okay, you're dirty. So then he's like, so word on the street is you have jokes. What's your funniest jokes? I was like, oh, again with this? I was like, my jokes land better when you hear them in person. Literally, that's my response to all of them.
That sounds very flirty.
I mean, it's supposed to be flirty.
Yeah.
I'm trying to meet with these people, you know? I'm trying to be in a relationship after seeing everybody in a relationship, and me, getting put on the back burner. My back screen is Bad Bunny because he's like
like I meant to ask you about that.
Oh, that man is so beautiful.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think he's that cute.
I think Bad Bunny is so attractive.
He looks real ghetto.
That guy Benito, and he's Latino, and you know how I love Latinos.
I know you did.
Yeah,
he loves him some Latinos. So what's your thing with Bad Bunny? What is it about him that you find so attractive?
He's just like so secure with his sexuality and his masculinity. Actually, I don't know if he's secure with his sexuality. Yeah, because he could be a little. I'm praying. But that man is just so confident and beautiful and talented and tall and oof.
Okay. If
someone give me a fan in here.
I know, jeez, we're gonna have to turn these lights out right now. Yeah, it's like when I go to your feed on Twitter, Instagram, it's either Kehlani or it's it's Bad Bunny.
Yeah,
I'm like, híjole, and like, where do you get all these photos?
I took one of my jock straps and I
know
I tried to throw it at him at Coachella for his set.
Yeah.
It didn't work out.
You were too far away.
Yeah, it wasn't gonna happen. I had to watch the whole entire set off of two guys' shoulders to make sure I could see properly, but
and didn't reach.
It didn't reach.
Try to do like a slingshot, huh?
I could have been the one that brought him out,
What did you put a little like brujeria on the jockstrap and threw it out there?
I'm not gonna release that information.
No. So thank you for breaking us down the kind of the apps and like how they work and like what purposes you use them for. So my question is like, where do you go from here? You kind of tried all these options, all these apps. What do you find has been the most effective thing for you in dating?
In dating to actually be on dates, Tinder for sure.
Tinder, okay.
Yeah. But I mean, I just have the worst luck with relationships.
Are we gonna open up that kind of worm? Is it gonna turn into a therapy session here?
Let's not make that because okay. I know you're gonna give me all this advice and I'm like, yeah, you're right, Jack. But really, am I gonna take the advice?
No. JC's one of my students who is like who's always being
taken advantage of.
No, he's always
cheated. Y'all know who you are.
No, I was gonna say you're one of the students who's always getting suspended, always getting sent to the principal's office.
Oh,
always something.
True.
But on a personal note, what is like? Where do you go from here? Where do you go from here? Like, what are you looking for? What are you looking for on the real?
I feel like me and myself in a relationship, I'm very, very mature in like relationships. I'm not gonna constantly be like, oh, where are you? Who are you with? Like I go into a relationship being very secure. Like I wanted, like, and having so much loyalty and trust. Yeah. Like
I can see that.
I give my 100% right off the bat because I feel like you've never shown me, like, obviously, like, everybody's always at their best, at the beginning of the relationship.
Yeah.
And like you've never shown me as to why I shouldn't trust you or why I shouldn't be loyal to you or why I shouldn't, give you my all.
Yeah.
And so for me, like, I feel like if you are not gonna give each other the space that you need, like, it's not gonna be a healthy relationship. Like, you need to have your own things. You need to have your you time, but also, like, be able to, like, it's it's a limited amount of time. You know, you need to have a good amount of time being together and like somewhat time of being yourself. Like you need to like.
It needs to be a balance.
For me in a relationship, like I am just looking for someone who's gonna grow with me. Like I know everybody said that, but literally, because I know I'm not in a place where I'm like 100% secure, like 100% secure financially. Or
and this podcast is not an advertisement for you to get
to get it.
Okay.
So like for me, what I just look in a relationship is trust, loyalty, and someone who is gonna love me unconditionally because I'm a changing person.
So why haven't you found that? Why haven't you found that? Ever since I've known you, I haven't met anybody that you've been with, and I don't think you've ever been in a long-term relationship since I've known you in the past 3 years. Why? Why haven't you been in a serious relationship in the past 3 years?
I think I've tried too hard.
You've tried too hard. I think so.
Yeah. I think I tried to make every one of my relationships work.
Yeah.
And I think
that's like the great thing about you is that you do give a lot of effort and a lot of energy and the time that is required for a relationship. But
I feel like the guys my age that I have dated aren't on that level. I feel like they don't, like they're still trying to find themselves and have fun, which is completely fine. But that's not the type of person I am, you know?
Yeah.
Not that I'm not having fun and finding myself, but like I also take my relationship super seriously. And for them, like, it's not a serious relationship.
Now, I'd be interesting to see you in a relationship because, like, I always say you're novela, like, in your regular life. So it'd be interesting to see how you are.
Like, I would have to mellow down a bit.
You would have to definitely mellow down a lot because that's the curious
But
thing.
then what's the point of being in that relationship, you know, if I have to change myself?
Yeah, that's true. So one of the things that
I will say that I do change myself in relationships. I think I kind of like conform myself to be what that person wants me to, which is not good. But again, I try to make every one of my relationships that have failed to work.
Right. And, you know, that might be part of the issue, you know, that you're, you know, just be you. Somebody is going to literally accept you for all. And I always say this all the time. I say that, you know, you need to find somebody who's going to accept you for all the things that you are. But most importantly, they're going to accept you for the things that you aren't. Yeah. Because you are a lot of great things, but you're also, you know,
a lot of flaws and a lot of insecurities.
You're also, you have a lot of insecurity. You know, you're still working on yourself. So they have to accept you with all the good and all the bad. And that's how you know that, like, you found somebody.
Most of the bad is my family baggage.
Yeah. Don't introduce them to your family for at least 2 years. Okay.
Oof.
That's my advice.
They're going to meet my family on my wedding day.
Your family is all up in your mix all the time. But one of the things that we talked about, which is interesting, is like friend zoning people that you've dated, and, you know, people that you didn't necessarily have a connection with, or you had a connection with them, but you found out that, you know what, we're just better off as friends.
Okay.
How's that worked out for you?
I think I've had that happen specifically twice. One of my friends, we actually did meet the Grindr, and it was actually a hookup. That was it. And then, like, I never talked to him ever again. And then one of my best friends and I went to LA Pride, and we just happened to stay at his house. Okay. And then from there, it was just like, we're friends. We have never brought it up. We have never talked about it since then. Nobody probably until after they see this have known that him and I had sex. Yeah. And then with one of my friends, one of my closest friends, I think we're into each other at first. We flirted, and then, like, nudes were exchanged, and then one time we did have sex. Yeah. And then, like, I think mutually, like, we, like, friend zoned each other. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, it just, like, didn't click. Like, I don't think we saw anything in each other that was like, wow, I would want to be with this person. Like, but as a person of who he is, I love him with all my heart. But, like, relationship wise, I just don't see us happening. Yeah. And which is fine, because, like, I don't have any, like, romantic feelings for him like that. I don't think he has any romantic feelings for me like that. I think mutually we don't.
Now, that you mentioned that, I'm gonna put you on blast again because you were in a situation where you did have a friend that it was like flipped. So it was like they were really into you, and you guys had been friends and really good friends beforehand, but then the feelings developed on that other end, and then it didn't work out.
So with that friend, so the first time that we met, we went to a rave together, and I invited him to come with some of my coworkers and my friends to go with us, and the whole entire time, because like it was a group thing, I was trying to have everybody, like, you know, be included because my cousins were going. It was a big group of people, and he like wanted to spend time with me, and like from there, like we just kind of friend zoned each other, like, or I think I friend zoned him, like I didn't like really.
Yeah, you friend zoned him.
Yeah. And then for us being friends for like a year or so, he had admitted that he had feelings for me, and I was like, okay, like, well, let's try this out. I tried it out for a week, and then like I think it could have been a great relationship, but if it continued the way we were, you know, every day we were together, every day we were seeing each other, every day we called each other. Mm-hmm. I took him places, he took me places. Like it was like a great friendship.
Yeah.
And then when he did admit that he had feelings for me, I was like, okay, well, like I feel like I like how our relationship is already. Like let's take that step. We tried it for a week, and he changed. Like he wanted all these romantic things, all these like lovey-dovey like things. Like he wanted me to bring him like drinks to work, food to work. I was like, I didn't know. It just took me back, and maybe it was because I didn't 100% feel for him the same way he did about me. But I ended up telling him like I just didn't think it was gonna work out. Mm-hmm. That I didn't want to lose our friendship. I felt like we needed to like stay how we are so we can salvage our relationship. And it just deteriorated from there. Like, we're friends still. We're just not as close.
Not as close. Yeah. And so, are you looking for a serious relationship?
I think I'm always looking for a serious relationship.
Like reality.
For me, the goal is always
because you're always dating. You're always meeting people.
I'm never dating to just like for flings. Like I don't think I you know, people who do that, that's fine, you know. But for me, like I don't look for a thing. My end goal is always to end up married and start a family. You know,
he's got baby fever already at 21.
I've been having baby fever since I was.
Oh, calm down now, okay. So why do you think that? You know, my advice is always that, you know, when you're not looking, when you're working on yourself, the universe is going to send you somebody that's just right, and actually for you. That's kind of where you feel like you calm down, like you're like, you know,
definitely like,
chill.
Like I feel like I'm at a place now. Like I actually recently I went to the club with my cousin and his boyfriend, and I went with my other two best friends, and they're in a relationship, and like they were dancing with each other, and like my cousin was dancing with his boyfriend, and like it was just like all like love music, and I was dancing by myself, and I was completely okay with it. In the past, I would always be like, wow, I wish I had someone, and now I'm more in a space where like I had fun. Like I don't need someone, but would it be amazing to have someone and share my life with? Yeah. But I used to be like avidly looking for someone to date, you know, but now I'm not.
No. Okay. I'm just a good start.
Yeah.
That's a good start because, you know, the moment that you just let go and let it be, you know, that's usually the time that like things happen for you, and not even just in romantic relationships, but just in life in general. So I'm glad that you're, you know, just starting to let things be what they are and not try and force it, or not try and like, you know, insert yourself in. But one of like the interesting things that I always tell people, because, you know, gay men have a reputation, and this kind of goes off of like the whole Grindr and guys hooking up. And I always tell them, you know, like why gay men have such a reputation for like being hoes and like hooking up. And here's how I explain it to them. I go like this. I say, we're gonna get scientific here. Okay, think about just the reputation that men have. You know, we're gonna say straight men, that they have this reputation that they have this dog in them, this instinct that they just, you know, they just can't help themselves. It's something that's in them.
Yeah.
Okay, so I say, okay, so you like we can pretty much get on board with that. Now you take, just because a man is gay doesn't mean that he doesn't have that in him already. It's just that he just prefers, to be with another guy.
Yeah.
You put two guys together
Oof.
who have that, you know what I mean? And that in where lies the reputation of, guys just hooking up because they just have this thing in them. They still have a male drive.
Yeah.
It's still male energy. They just prefer males over females. So, I, went through a phase, and I was your age, not as young as you. I didn't start off as young as you did. Jeez, and I always talk about this. I'm always talking about, like at 15, like when you tell me 15, like at 15 years old, I was like playing video games, still had toys, like I can't even fathom that remember, you were like hooking up.
The world changes so fast. Like when you were at your age, like you guys didn't, when you were like younger, like you guys didn't have all these like phones and like dating apps, like you had these like huge phones, these bricks that you had to take.
Hey, it wasn't that big. No, I didn't even have my first phone until I was out of high school. I was like 20 or something when I had my first cell phone.
Sorry, I had to remember.
¿Qué comites?
Top ramen.
Oh my god! I knew you were on Twitter asking somebody to get you boba tea.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love boba.
They have it at River Park at the farmers market. They always sell it there.
There's just one of my favorite places is actually by the Mayan.
Oh, you guys have one?
The Sweet Life.
Don't you have one in the mall?
No. We used to have it. They took it out.
Like that surfing something, huh?
They took it out.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. That's pointless. We're talking about something else.
Okay. On a side note. But what was I saying? What was I asking?
So basically, like, back in your day, like you didn't have that, For us, like it progressed already. We had phones, we had like more access to the internet and dating apps.
Well, in your I still dream about it. In your case, you were sharing a phone. But at least you still had access.
Well, I mean, that wasn't because we didn't have access to phones. It's because my mom was cheap.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, and the phone that you had, I'm assuming had like access to the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, my first phone that had access to the internet was like a few years down the line.
But you also still had minutes back then, and like
you had like.
Only like no long distance calls.
Yeah, there was still like plans like there was, I remember it was called evenings and weekends, where it's like after like 8 o'clock then you could do unlimited minutes, and on the weekends I'm like, they don't do that shit anymore. But so do you think if you had if you were your age and when I grew up, like, do you think like you would just be,
I think I would be
thinking about it?
Yeah. I don't think so, like it'd be like more like, oh, you have to meet someone in person, I've tried that before, like, oh, you have to meet someone in person, which is like, I do have guys.
When was the last time that you met somebody in person that you full on like did the traditional thing? You like saw them, you thought they were cute, you went up to them, you said, hey, what's up?
And it's progressed from there. Nothing's ever progressed from there. Like I'm like, I have done that before.
But it's never turned into like.
I think it's when it's in bigger cities, it's more possible for that to happen.
Yeah.
But like in smaller cities, it's not. Like here, like the clubs aren't that big. We have like one club that everybody goes to, so we already all know each other.
Yeah.
But if you go to like LA or SF, it's so much easier for you because everybody, it's like. They have gay local spots there where everybody goes to. Not everybody knows each other, but there's a lot of different people, and like you have more chance.
And so you would be more inclined to like.
Because when I went to WeHo, I had that chance of like I saw someone that I thought was cute. Like we both thought we were cute. We exchanged. And was
that in a club?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in a club.
But you haven't done anything like that at a non-club here in town. Like you saw somebody at the movies, or you saw them at the mall, or you saw them at a restaurant.
I feel like, again, like that would be possible more in bigger cities.
But you've never done it here.
But here, no. It's. I think that I'd be looked at weirdly, be like, what the fuck, who are you? Yeah.
We're gonna hold that thought because I just want to check the camera.
Okay.
And see where we're at.
That's good because I think we're like almost 2 hours. Yeah.
Okay. Alexa, set an alarm for 30 minutes from now.
You need to plug it in.
30 minutes, starting now.
You'd be like, hello, we're back.
Oh no, I just edit it and when I download it. What time is it?
It's gonna be 10.
Okay. So.
Okay, guys, we're back.
No, I don't even do it. I just edit it out.
Oh.
So, do you think that do you feel comfortable doing that? Like, let me give you an example. Apps, online dating, back in my day was like you did that if you were desperate.
If you hit on someone,
No, if you would be dating, you would be going online and trying to meet people. Even on those dating websites, that would be like, this lonely bitch can't get anybody, so she's got to resort to online. Now that is like the main way that you meet people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Like it's less common to like meet somebody in person or say like, oh, I met somebody at church, or I met somebody at school. Like it's less common. Like people.
Jack.
What?
At church. You didn't want to go find another
not in your case.
Homosexual and in the church.
Hey,
El Dios,
let me tell you that that's where a lot of them are. Let me tell you. But even when I talk to like college students, like they don't meet people. Even if they meet somebody, they're like, they look for them on Instagram or on Twitter, and then they message them. Mm-hmm. They don't go up to them and be like, hey, like, what's up? Like, what's your name or whatever. They don't do that anymore. Even though they see each other every day at school, they would rather actually look them up and find their social media before they would actually go up to them and say, what's up?
Yeah.
What, like, okay, let's say, for instance, at work. Say you see somebody at work that you think is cute, or you're walking in the mall on your lunch or something, and your first instinct, instead of going up to them, would probably be like, I'm going to look them up on Grindr, because you don't need to know their name, right? You can see if like
they're on Grindr.
If they're on Grindr, right? That's going to be like your first instinct, instead of being like, you know what, I think that person is cute, like I'm going to go up to him or whatever. Now, do you think that is because it's obviously it's a little bit harder being gay than like for straight people to go up, because it's mostly assumed that if like a guy goes up to a girl, that she's not going to be a lesbian, she's going to be a straight girl. But like for us, it's like kind of a little bit harder to tell necessarily, like out and about, like, oh, is that person gay or not? So do you feel comfortable going up to somebody and approaching them
actually
in person?
I have once, but not for myself.
Yeah. But not for yourself.
I did it for my best friend. We were at the gym, and he's like, that guy's really cute. And I was like, yeah, he's cute. And then I was like, go talk to him. He's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And he's like, I'm gonna see if he's on Grindr.
See?
Well, we didn't find him on there, so I was like, just tell him. And so I went up to him. I was like, hey, my best friend thinks you're really, really cute. Like, do you have a Snapchat that I can give to him? And biddy bang, they went on a few dates, and that's it.
Now, that's interesting that you bring that up, because it's like before, you didn't have an option. You just gave them your phone number.
Yeah.
Now you don't give them your phone number unless like you're serious about them.
Yeah.
You just give them your social media, because they don't have to know like your phone number, and you can block them if you're not interested in them anymore. How many people have you blocked?
We're not talking about that.
Yeah, you see, but that's kind of the routine, right?
Yeah, but it's because like I feel like your phone number is very private. It's like, unless you have like, even sometimes like companies, like if they are giving you a phone, so you have that for work purposes. Like, so they're not contacting you on your personal phone. But it's like if I give out my phone number is only given out to my friends and my family, and that's it. Like, I'm not going to give my coworkers, because they need to get a hold of me. Yeah. If you don't need to get a hold of me, why do you need my number?
And see, like in my day, it was like that was the only option.
Yeah.
You can only give them your phone number. You can't give them some, page that you're on, or some site that you're on. You had to give them your phone number.
You could have given them your email.
Yeah, but that's kind of like, that's still not very common. Back then, not every single person had an email, or they don't use email to message. It was like text message. Text message was probably the next form of messaging each other, but you had to give them your phone number. Yeah. You know what I mean? Now with the apps, you can DM. You don't need to give you a phone number. Yeah. But back then it's like your phone, your texting is through your phone. Now, one of the things that I'm going to be talking about on this podcast is like, I'm very passionate about conversation and about interacting with people in person, because I think it's a dying form. People don't do that as much because of social media. So I really want to ask you, as a young gay person who does eventually meet people in person, but all of their interactions have been through an app or messaging. What do you find? What do you find when you actually meet these people in person? Do you find that they can conversate well? Do you find like they're still like?
It depends on the person.
Yeah. What is your overall like general?
Yeah. So it just depends on the person, because like I know that I do know a lot of introverts. You know, I myself would consider myself an extrovert. Like I'm very talkative, and I get that from my parents. They are. My dad makes friends with everybody. My mom can talk to anybody. She's a realtor, so she like has that option. Where, she has to talk to people. Talk to people. But I know a lot of people who I would go on dates with, and it'd be just very like, we'd be lucky that we went to a movie, to a date to the movies, because then we don't have to talk.
Right. But
it's like I actually have now started to like try to steer away from movie dates, because like you want to be able to get to know someone, you know. But like when it gets awkward, I just know that as soon as it gets awkward and we can't have a conversation, at that point I just know it's like I need to cut it off.
And so how often do you come across that? Do you come across that?
I feel like very often. Like at first when I started to date, very often, because now when I like look for someone that I'm trying to date or go on a date with, I make sure that I can have a conversation with them. Yeah. Because if I can't, like our conversations already dry through messages, like I'm not gonna go try it.
Right. Because it's easier to conversate through text message or through DMs. Yeah. But when you get that person in front of you, you know, and that's really why I really kind of want to dive into this, is because I feel like we're losing that human contact. Yeah. And when we are just knowing people, and the thing about it is, you get to know a person through messaging them, and then, you know, you have this idea of who they are. You know, you have an idea of what they're like and what their personality is, but then when you meet them in person, it can be a disappointment. Yeah. You know, it can be, because you can be anybody you want to be online, right? Yeah. You can have a persona.
But that's also like what people should take in accountability, is that you can be whoever you want to be when you're first meeting someone. Yeah. They have no idea who you are, you know?
Right. Right. Yeah, exactly. But if they can't carry a conversation, or they can't, it doesn't really matter, you know, because those are the things, you know, those are what makes relationships build a good foundation. It's like you want to be able to conversate with somebody. In your case, you want to have somebody who's going to be, that you're going to be able to bring to your family, because your family is very
talkative, very loud,
and very interactive, you know.
Chismosos, right. All of you.
You know, let's say, like, for instance, you brought somebody who you didn't have a very good conversation, or wasn't very talkative, or was kind of, like you said, introverted.
To my family, they would eat him alive.
Right.
My cousins would scare him away.
Yeah.
And it's happened before. My cousins are the most loud, chismosos,
metiches,
no filters. Yeah. Say whatever's on their mind. Yeah. Especially my cousin Liz.
See you, Liz.
And my cousin Lisa, she's very like kind of like the voice of reason. Like she'll be like, she'll want to know everything. But she'll be like, okay, guys, like let's calm down. You're gonna scare him away. Versus my cousin Tito would be like, no, bitch, fuck that. And then just like, but he's done that to me because I've done it to him. But
because you're a metiche too. Yeah.
But my cousin Liz, she's chismosa. She's my favorite chismosa. I found out everything from her.
So my final question for you is, what's the future? What do you expect? You know, you've kind of gone through all this. You've been there, done that with the dating apps and the scene. What do you see? Like, what do you want to see? What kind of progression do you want us to see as a gay community?
I feel like the gay community should go back to being able to meet people in person. Yeah. Like, we should go back to being like open to discussing in person, because like, it's amazing how technology has advanced, and we have this chance of being able to communicate with people like from across the country, and which is good, because like you can get a relationship from someone that's across the country and be willing to make it work if that's your thing, you know. But like, meeting someone in person is just such like a magical thing, where it's like, wow, you get that first impression off the bat from them, you know. Versus social media, you have an impression of them already. You've made an impression. Yeah. But in person, it's like, I feel like that oh, it was like love at first sight has been kind of lost because like you don't meet people in person anymore.
Right.
You meet them over online.
And I always talk about energy and really feeling someone's energy. You can't get that from a text message. Like when you meet somebody in person, it's like you're gonna get a sense energetically of like what kind of person they are.
Yeah.
You're gonna see them. You've already seen some pictures that have probably been Facetuned, right? And then you get them in person, and it's just like, I don't like what you're saying. You don't look how you look.
Yeah.
And then energetically, I can't fuck with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just, why are we wasting each other's time? And that's the thing about it. That's the point, is that we think that we're really streamlining things by doing the apps and like, oh, I can just go on to the next person. This person didn't work out. I can just keep going. But in reality, we're kind of wasting our time.
Yeah. And knowing me, ask all my friends. I'm like the freaking FBI.
Yeah.
As soon as I get their name, I will look up to where they lived, who they dated before, where they work, where they've gone to school, if they're going to school, who their siblings are, their friends. I will find it all.
Yeah. See, I always
my cousins know it. My friends know it.
Yeah, you ask a lot of questions and you get into the you get in there. I always tease a lot of my friends, like I'll be like, you're the worst investigator in like Central Valley. I'm like, you don't know this. What's their name? What's their last name? I don't know. Where do they work?
Not me. I don't know their whole entire family.
Everything.
I'm basically ancestry.com.
Yep. You know everything. You know where they came from, where they're going. But do you have any final thoughts, like in what we talked about? Like, thank you for giving us some insight into this crazy stuff, because I couldn't have thought of anybody better to bring on, because I know you're like in there.
Well, you make it sound like I'm sleeping with everybody. No. Let me tell you, all of Fresno has not had this.
You said that.
They'd be so lucky.
But on the flip side, who hasn't seen your ass though?
You're welcome.
It's out there.
You're welcome, and sorry, Tia.